Collect from Soul Life Loving. I'm just going to chip another bit in. I'm going to clip this on somewhere, otherwise I don't want to hear anything. Part of what's been going on to like the residue for clearing, for having cleared that timeline, but the residue of past lives being in me and my adding to that, because I've kind of got a blueprint for it. And I acknowledge them because I've escaped and I'm now free of any past ties, karmic lessons, blueprints, and it's to, and because I keep attracting the same kind of like predator, loosely predator, not a predator, but a predator. I've realised that there's a bit more shadow work than I need to do, and I can't avoid it because this lesson is going to keep coming up until I work it out. Because while I'm not working it out, I'm reacting subconsciously, and I need to work it out. Then I can act consciously, which means I can take a step back when I feel somebody's energy is off, and because that's my intuitive bit, and I keep blocking that because there's this blueprint pushing me. Now everybody else in my past, and it goes back a long, 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 long way, and I've seen them all, they've all been trapped, and I've been trapped in my life, and they've never been able to escape. And it's been quite a challenge for a spirit to want to accept this timeline, but they did it, and they took my human body to do it, because I just this timeline was a diminishing timeline where the same nasty living pattern was being regurgitated, and every time somebody came down to try and clear it, they got squashed into it. So it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of shadow work, and a lot of hard work. And I thought when I'd cleared that timeline that, oh, whoopee, go me, you know, I'm on a runner. No, because then I had to deal with my own. I didn't expect that. So, oh, it's very difficult to actually put it all into words because there's such a lot going on that it could just go on too long. But every time I did something correctly and acknowledged my part in something, and then acknowledged that connection to a past blueprint, and that acknowledgement, it's like a portal pass. You get through another portal when you do that. Because whilst you're in unconscious land, nothing gets recognized and nothing gets spoken out and nothing gets brought down from the top into the heart and then out your mouth. And it needs to happen. It's not something that you can just not happen. I journal, fountain pen. I love these. And I have my cards, which, and I also, you know, I ask my spirits all the time for guidance, because I need it, and you have to, you know, you have to need it, you have to want it, and you have to ask, because they can't help you if you don't. That's the deal. So on one of the lessons that I learned about my behavior patterns. Now, some of these are because in the past I have been in a servant position, and in a servant position where it's indentured and where you you don't have a choice. And if you miss a cue, you know, you're going to get severely punished. And that's kind of been, and in between and in mixed that have been healers, a lot of healers, and they've been quiet by necessity, not to stick their heads above the parapet. So there's a lot of hidden, deliberately hidden, and that came out. So there was an inability in me to speak out. I think that was why I was mute for so many years, because I didn't have the words. I was shut down. But last month, March, I cleared. Well, I know this might sound really bizarre, but when you're in a trance and you're doing it, it seems really normal. Like, of course, that's going to happen. And when by a trance, I mean not a dream. You know, you're asleep when you're dreaming, but when you're in a trance, you're wide awake. So there's, you know, there's multiple versions of you, all operating at the same time, operating at the same time in a trance, and they're all at different levels. And I became aware in this trance that because I'd understood something about myself and the way I'm so uncomfortable talking to people that I babble, and then I can't get away, and I have a panic attack, and it's awful. I mean, it can't be nice for somebody to see. It's definitely not nice to feel it. And I realised what was causing that was this panic and fear and lack of being impolite and being punished, saying the wrong thing and being punished, reacting incorrectly and being punished. And it just leads to this meltdown on the street where I'm like, like that. So it's not very pretty. But I understood where exactly that was coming from and why, and that I could actually control it by physically, when I meet somebody, I take a step back. Just that action of me taking a step back puts me into pause mode. That puts me into listening mode. And not talking mode where I'm constantly asking questions because I need to get it right. And that was a huge lesson for me, a huge lesson. And I took it on board, and I just remember being really, really, you know, ears screaming hot, because it was a massive connection that I'd made with myself, and of how to deal with it right there and then, and to give myself a bit of breathing space and to step away from that panic, because they were never allowed to step back. There was no pause for them. Do or die for them, not for me. So I need to not be like that. I need to be like this. It was huge. And this sounds really, it's not when you're doing it. I was portal jumping, like in parallel, like lines, and because there were so many links to that thought that when it went out laterally, it triggered on both sides a connection to me's, and we are all going through these portals. So it opened something for everybody on the me's on my timeline, and it opened them all up, and I portal jumped like from one to another, and behind it, of course, because it is so, all the portals behind me are closed and they're cloaked, so nobody can follow me. They can't find an entrance. Only by going forward do we find another entrance. Nobody else can follow me, and nothing that I've left behind from the old me is allowed to follow me. And if it does, if something tries to come back in, it comes back in with such a nasty taste in the back of my throat that I know it's something that's come close while it's hunting to try and follow me. And so I can step on that and deal with it. But as I went through these, when I stopped and I turned around, and there in front of me in the fetal position was this angel. And she was broken, as in her wings were broken, they were tattered, she was bruised, her clothes were torn, and she was just led there, and she hadn't got anything left. And I got hit like smack in the forehead almost, with this humbling shock of, oh my God, that's my earth angel. That's what came with me. That's what came. That, like, oh my God, she's given everything to me, dumbass human me, to get me to this point. She's given, and she hasn't got anything else left to give. And I thought, oh fuck, Jesus, bloody fucking hell. I was so shocked. I swear, I was so shocked. I was just, oh my God. On my boat, where my spirit side lives with my guides, and we sail the rivers, they sail the rivers. I do not run the boat. I've given that over to them. I'm not capable. I'll run into embankments. I've done it before. I don't need to be running the boat. They run the boat. But on the boat, there is a healing area, and it's kind of a floating light bed. And when I'm on it, I can have green healing, I can have blue protection, and I can have this kind of mother of pearl whitey stuff that soothes me and makes me feel like nothing can ever harm me ever again. And they kind of move around one another. They don't mingle, they just move in different directions. So one might be going that way, another will be going that way, that will be going that way, but they're going round. And it's like somebody being in stasis, and I'm in stasis. So I was like, I want to go back to the boat. So I picked my angel up, like, oh my fucking God, I've hurt her. She's had to do this. And I've always said, yeah, and so have you. And that's why your health is like it is, because you've given everything that you have to this. So this is the state of you both. Your inside and your outside is just as decrepit as this. So it's like, right, get me back to the boat, get me back. We want to heal. So I put her in a bubble with the green, the blue, and the mother of pearl. And I put me in. And a part of me really wanted to hold her hand, because, oh my God, it was, oh, sorry, I just wiped the microphone. I was so sad to see her like that. But I didn't want my human self to pass anything on. And by that, I mean the first layer of my human self. Like, my human self is actually in bed in a trance. But this is like the first layer. The one that comes in the dreams, that layer. That first layer lives on the boat. When I go off the boat, I astrally travel another spirit, and I leave one here. So when I come back, the me that found her and carried her is also in another bubble, and we're healing. You know, and I realise she's not broken. She's healing, and she's given everything, and my human self has given everything. So this first layer of spirit of me is healing at the same time. My human me has had to rest. It's wobbling on the verge of a collapse, and shaky. And I know I'm at the end of my human energy limits. So we're in rest mode. And so that's where I am now. I've had one last predator to deal with, and that's been dealt with. And now I'm free. There is nobody in my life who is oppressing me in any way. I'm completely free. And it is a wonderful, peaceful thing where clarity as in everything is working as one, rather than having different things where messages are passed on hither, thither and yon. We're all working as one. So I'm waving my hands around. I hope I'm not knocking you silly. I'll try and contain them down here. They can't help it. So I'm just resting. Everything's about a little bit of exercise and rest. My diet, I'm having to clean that up a little bit, because there are some things that I have been taking, and some veg that I've been taking that does not agree with me. Beans, nice healthy beans, don't agree with me. Corn doesn't agree with me. Soya, yeah. And they all have a really negative bloating, gaseous effect on me. Chickpeas, hummus, no, can't have them. So we're in the process of cleaning up the diet. So I mean all the we's, we are eating things that don't negatively impact my digestive system. So this is all good. But when I step out of my door and I go and I potter off somewhere, the feeling of not having to deal with anybody in my world who has a hook in it, a deliberately placed hook, where just by connecting with them, I don't feel well, or I feel drained, or I feel anxious around them, or I'm hyper vigilant and I'm waiting to catch them out because I know that there's something not all right, and at some point they will let something slip, and I've just got to be vigilant. And on top of that, I'm having to learn. If somebody walks up to you in a clown suit waving a big red flag, it's because it is a big red flag. It is not there to entertain you or frighten you too much. It's a big red flag. Do not get distracted by the costume and the makeup. Notice the flag. So when I do that, and if I've stepped back and I'm keeping talk to strangers really brief, because quite often when I meet people and they want to converse with me and I'm shining, it makes them want more, and it makes them move closer, and it quite often makes them start patting me and touching me, and it enrages me, and I don't like it, and I understand, and I don't want to be resentful of, oh, for God's sake, all I want to do is go out there and shine. Will you fuck off? I don't want to feel like that, because that's almost a misuse of my gifts, the gifts given to me. And I don't want to do that. I just want to go out and shine, keep it everything short and sweet, not allow them to involve themselves in a conversation with me whereby they can step forward to me. So in the last month, I have learned huge amounts of information on every level, and I just thought I'd come on and share it to you. And this is the longest video I have ever made, and it's nearly 20 minutes. I really don't want to cross that boundary. I tried to keep it under 12, but there you go. I hope that's helpful. I'm going to go back now and read my cards and see what else they can tell me. Thank you for listening.